Albert from Fasthire, and today we're going to teach you how you can write a compelling diversity personal statement. Imagine the word this way. Let me break it down for you to understand. We are all unique in our abilities, in our characters, and we have different abilities, right? We have different thoughts and perspectives, but we are coexisting in the world. Diversity now simply means the variety of the unique abilities, the unique character, the unique thought and perspective within a group, community, and society. Yes? So, what are those unique characteristics, unique abilities, the thought, the perspective that are evident in a community or in a society? That is the meaning of the word diversity. In what area can I even find these differences, these unique characteristics or the unique abilities or rights? So let's take it down. So we can find these unique differences in your culture. Yes, our culture, we have different cultural beliefs, we have different cultural practitioners or practices to say. So you can also find these unique abilities or differences. I've mentioned culture, then education. Yes, you can also find this where you can find this in our socio-economic society. Exactly. You can also find this amongst the gender. Yes, then the age, our age. Are we all the same age? No, we are not. Then you can also find this in our perspective, our thoughts. Our thoughts are not the same. I mean, the way you think of a particular idea or the way you perform solution is different from the way the other person would. So that's the diversity. And imagine having a meeting with people, your board of directors. Then what's the essence of the meeting? You're coming up in the meeting because you want to share ideas and you also want to get to understand their perspective. So that's diversity. These are people of different unique characteristics and they're coming together to share an idea and for them to agree on something. So you can also find this in political, religion. You can find these unique differences there. Remember that the world is connected and we are all different. So this diversity personal statement is an essay. It's an essay, yes. An essay where you as a writer, we have to discuss your personal experiences, you discuss your background, you discuss your unique thoughts and abilities that make you distinct from others. So how do you do that? You reflect. Remember that the way you think is different from the way someone else does, and the way you do your things is actually different. So you need to share. Your background is different from the next person. Even if both of you are related by blood, you don't have the same perspective. You don't have the same thoughts. You don't have the same ability. That is what you need to discuss. This diversity personal statement is usually required in college admissions or university admissions, job applications, and professional programs, especially in college admissions. So why do they need it? Remember that we are all unique in our thoughts and abilities. So the institution or these organizations, they need this. They need your diversity personal statement because they want to understand your unique qualities. What are those things that will make you stand out from others? They want to know your unique qualities. They want to know your unique perspective that you and as an individual will bring to the table. It's not just saying, oh, I made a good grade, I did that. But there are some other innate abilities that you have. There are some other challenges that you must have gone through that have made you to be who you are. That's what they want to know. They want to know how you had to navigate all those challenges. They want to know what you did. They want to know your strength. Oh, they also want to know your weaknesses. Yes, that is why it's important. I mean, amongst every other person, why should we pick you? It just had a question. Why should we hire you? That is just it. That's in college admission. So amongst every other person pursuing for this degree, amongst every other person that wants this position, why should we hire you? Put it that way. So why should we take you? That is the device. That is where you need to tell them your unique abilities, your unique character, your unique differences, right, that you bring to the table, or why they should take you, why they should hire you. Yes, like I wrote here, that this is not just about having good grades, because the organization or the school, they want to know if your values aligns with theirs. Exactly. Every organization and every school, they have their mission, they have their vision, they have their values. As an individual, you're expected to have your values, expected to have your mission, expected to have your goals. So they want to know if your values aligns with theirs, and that is from the compelling narrative they're going to put out there as in your diversity personal statement. Before we go into writing it, there are some things that you have to reflect on, you should note. Now, these will help you to create that compelling narrative in your diversity personal statement, and these are the things you need to reflect on: your background and identity. Look at yourself, look at your background, reflect on it. What's different about your background? What's different about your identity? Yes, like, let me take myself as an instance. I'm from Nigeria, and in Nigeria is a multi-ethnic community. So I have to break it down to my community or my ethnic group. Now, what is different about my ethnic group? That was distinct about my ethnic group that made me me, and my identity from my ethnic group that has made me me. So those are the things I need to reflect on. Then my experiences in my community, whatever I experience in my community, my challenges, then contributions that you have made in your community. What are the things that you've done in your community? Definitely you'll be like, I've not done anything in my community. If you reflect on certain things, you realize that you've done a lot, or you've done one or two things in your community. Yes, probably you went on the sanitation work, you volunteered for something that just you have to reflect on. Then when you talk about your future goals, you have to talk about your future goals. Where do you envision seeing yourself in the next 2 years? Sometimes it's always like, where do you envision seeing yourself in the next 5 years? Let's put it down to 2 years. Where do you envision seeing yourself in the next 2 years? Those are your future goals. Realistic goals, simple goals. Then your commitment. Your commitment to your values, your commitment to your goals. How do you intend to commit to achieving these goals? How do you intend to commit to being you, who you are? Then, in all of this, how is it relevant to your application? How exactly do you do, or how do you need to write your diversity personal statement in medicine? Now, your introduction should be catchy. Opening statement. Here you have to share a journey of yours to medicine that is shaped by your passion, diversity, and commitment to change. Okay, you need to reflect on everything, then put an opening statement. Could be like, you suffer through situation, or while growing up You had the test for blood, you had the test for medicine, you had the test for some particular thing. That's an example. Or you lost a loved one, and that gave you the passion for you to pursue medicine. Or you have a commitment to change. Probably you didn't like the way some people were treated, or just the let me use for example, in some areas in society or some country, like the delivery is not adequate and you need to make a change. So you have to start with a competitive. That's an example of what you should put up as introduction. It should be catchy. So after this, we're going to share a link on the diversity personal statement that had already been written, so you can see how all these things came together as one. So let's read this example here. We have here: growing up in Nigeria in a multicultural home taught me the strength of unity and collaboration. A tragic event revealed the disparities in healthcare, sparking my repeated passion for medicine. Now, this is how someone crafted her background and blending everything together, like in a diverse community, that in a multicultural home. That is actually how you can put yours together. This is an example. This is not a copy and paste thing. So you need to imagine or reflect on your background diversity and blend it together on what exactly had made you to pursue this, what exactly influenced you in the background and diversity, like the particular factor that influenced you to pursue the medicine. Now you always have a turning point from the challenges you've actually faced. Now we have here: witnessing my father's struggle for medical care became a turning point. As an example, witnessing my father's struggle for medical care became a turning point. This ignited a fire within me, a determination to address healthcare inadequacy and make a meaningful impact. So the first thing you need to look out for, the first thing you need to know is putting in your introduction. Yes. Now your introduction should be catchy. It should be catchy. Now you have to share a powerful journey of yours in medicine that's shaped by your passion, diversity, and commitment. What are those things that influenced you, or what is that influenced you to pursue medicine? So you have to start with a narrative. Probably you had a sick friend who needed medical care and that was not available, or you had inadequate medical care or facility in your hometown that you could shape into be an opening or catching statement for you. So there are different things you need to reflect on. Or probably you were in a very difficult moment that you had to face between life and death, and the only decision was for you to live, but there was no medical care, or the need to get the medical care was so far off, or finance to even get the right medical care wasn't available. So that's the thing for you. So you need to put out for that compelling narrative as a catching introduction for you. Then the next thing now is the background and diversity. Okay, now let's look at this example. Growing up in Nigeria in a multicultural home taught me the strength of unity and collaboration. A tragic event revealed disparities in healthcare, sparkling my deep-rooted passion for medicine. So this is this all in play talks about the person's background and diversity, what the kind of challenges that he or she had faced, and that influenced her decision or his decision to pursue medicine. Now I talk about the disparity in healthcare sector, talk about coming from a multicultural home, that talk about the background, and it taught him or her strength of unity and collaboration. And the next thing is the turning point. Yes, turning point. Like you've gone through the challenge as your opening statement. So what was the turning point for you? Now let's read this example. Witnessing my father's struggle for medical care became a turning point. This ignited a fire within me, a determination to address healthcare inadequacy and make a meaningful impact. After this, we're going to attach a link where you can read the full diversity personal statement and understand how these narratives, how all these things came to play. After you have mentioned your turning points that influence the decision, now you need to talk about your academic and professional background. How does it blend together? So, for example, we have here, equipped with a biology degree and a medical assistant experience, I bring a strong foundation for success in medical school. More so, patient care is at the core of my understanding. So these actually blends together. Now you have to put in your own thought together and blend your academic professional background on what you need to bring to the school. So we have your choice of medical school. Why have you chosen that school amongst all the schools? Why? What influenced your decision? Now we have, for example, I've chosen this school. You need to mention the name of the school. It's very, very important because you wouldn't want someone just calling hi or hey. So you need to mention the name of the school. I've chosen this school. I'm using this school. So, but when you're writing yours, you need to write the name of the school in full. Now, for its commitment to diversity, inclusivity, and innovation, it aligns perfectly with my values in creating positive change. There are some other distinct attributes that made you to choose a school. Probably you have a relative that's schooled there, or you've actually envisioned schooling there, maybe the tuition fee or the kind of extracurricular activities that the school includes in their curriculum. Things like that is actually fascinating. What will you contribute to the school? Not because you just want to choose the school. What are you going to contribute, and what also are your aspirations that when you get to the school? Now let's read this example. My goal is to contribute a unique perspective in the medical school community, actively participating in initiatives that promote diversity and inclusion. I am to provide compassionate, culturally sensitive care to patients from all backgrounds. So now you look at yourself, what are the things you aim to contribute to the school and what do you aspire for? Next thing you need to consider talking about is now your conclusion and your outlook. So in conclusion, my journey to medicine is fueled by tragedy, compassion, and a commitment to equity. With a solid academic background, I'm ready to make a meaningful impact in the medical school. So you also need to appreciate the school and you look forward to hearing from them. So we have to run it over again, talk about your introduction, which should be catchy and compelling. Talk about, that's your opening statement, it should be catchy. Talk about your background, diversity, yes, so you have to look at the examples again that I had written. Then talk about the turning point and passion. Now we move on to the academic and professional background, your academic and professional background, on how it blends to the particular field of interest. Then talk about the choice of medical school. Why have you chosen this particular medical school? And the next thing, talk about contribution and aspiration. They're not just coming to collect. It's also supposed to bring something. It's also supposed to contribute to the growth of the community, to the growth of the school. So what do you intend to add to the school? And what do you aspire? Now, not just adding, now what do you want the school to do for you too? I remember you need to conclude your last. You need to conclude by thanking. Yes, it's actually good for you to appreciate the person really. Thank you for your consideration. As I look forward to hearing from you, or look forward to contributing, things like that. So, and thank you so much, and we see you next time. Yet another day, and carefully go through this and you will have a compelling diversity personal statement. And remember to check the link below for you to read a diversity personal statement in medicine that have already been crafted. So you have to go through it and see that all the things that I have mentioned here, we have to put it together for a compelling narrative. Thank you, and bye.